For decades, astronomers have searched for signals from space. And now, America's biggest political space boondoggle agency, NASA, is virtue signaling, saying that it will avoid potentially insensitive names for celestial objects. But even as they show their patronizing concern, they miss a bigger point. Something many Americans miss, in fact, but which we can point out as fundamental to the whole picture. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Well, in order to keep up with the hectoring and hysterical times, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has announced that it is jumping on the cancel culture bandwagon and, according to its official tax-funded website, stopping its practice of making fun of people when it names cosmic objects.
I want to name her Dottie after my wife. She's a vicious, life-sucking bitch from which there is no escape.
It really hasn't gone about slandering or mocking people by applying names intentionally to disparage or mock, but since cultural Marxism keeps increasing the list of bad words and narrowing the scope of functional language in a manner that would make Big Brother jealous, the federal bureaucracy is taking steps to be more careful so as to not insult or be perceived as insensitive. And so we see this. As an initial step, NASA will no longer refer to planetary nebula NGC 2392, the glowing remains of a sun-like star that is blowing off its outer layers at the end of its life, as the Eskimo Nebula. Eskimo is widely viewed as a colonial term with a racist history imposed on the indigenous people of Arctic regions. Most official documents have moved away from its use. Okay, but this is what the online etymological dictionary tells us of its origin. 1580s, from Danish Eskimo or Middle French Eskimo, plural, both probably from an Algonquin word such as Abenaki Eskimo, plural Eskimoak, Ojibwa Ashkimek, traditionally said to mean literally eaters of raw meat, from Proto-Algonquin ask, raw, plus emo, meat. Research from 1980s in linguistics of the region suggests this derivation, though widely credited there, might be inaccurate or incomplete. And the word might mean snowshoe netter, but there are phonological difficulties with this. Meanwhile, the Canadian Encyclopedia offers this less specific, though also valuable, take on the words. The word Eskimo is an offensive term that has been used historically to describe the Inuit throughout their homeland, Inuit Nanungut, and the Arctic regions of Alaska, Greenland, and Canada, as well as the Yupik of Alaska and northeastern Russia, and the Inupiat of Alaska. Considered derogatory in Canada, the term was once used extensively in popular culture and by researchers, writers, and the general public throughout the world. So perhaps the folks at NASA have a point. Maybe some people are offended by the word, and they might want to change the name of what was formerly known as the Eskimo Nebula. Please pardon me if someday using this word in this video is deemed too offensive, and I should not even bring it up right now. It's very difficult to actually handle news stories sometimes. NASA will also no longer use the term Siamese Twins Galaxy to refer to NGC 4567 and NGC 4568, a pair of spiral galaxies found in the Virgo galaxy cluster. Moving forward, NASA will use only the official International Astronomical Union designations in cases where nicknames are inappropriate. But the term Siamese twins stems from the first pair of conjoined siblings to achieve international fame. As Phrases.org explains, the term Siamese twins derives from Chang and Eng Bunker, 1811 to 1874, who were the first pair of conjoined twins to become internationally known. The brothers were from Siam, hence the name. In their own country, as they had Chinese parents, they were known as the Chinese twins. So that doesn't seem offensive, but offense is really in the eye of the beholder, which makes things kind of problematic when dealing with a government agency. And that brings us to the larger point. What's being missed in this sensitivity potty training deal is the more fundamental foundational issue. While NASA hems and haws about terminological use in its day-to-day functions are funded through government force. NASA bureaucrats are afraid to give cosmological objects names that might be offensive, but the fact that people will go to prison if they don't cough up the cash to fund the $22.6 billion NASA agency, well, that's perfectly fine for some reason, and it's blithely overlooked. The fact that NASA more than once has been involved with using lots of tax cash to fund what some call scientifically sketchy climate change data, well, that, it seems, is also something that's left unexplored. Is there intelligent life in the universe? Well, that's a good question when you look at NASA. Instead, it seems that this agency, which politicians sneaked into existence by claiming it was constitutionally justified for the sake of national defense, will continue to explore our wallets, even as it encounters the limits of the commons, a place where not everyone can be pleased, but most everyone is liable to pay. NASA is examining its use of unofficial terminology for cosmic objects as part of its commitment to diversity, equality, and inclusion. Here's an idea. How about not including my money at the force of a government gun? And why not take space research out of the public commons and allow private markets to handle it? That way, not everyone has to pay, and not everyone is implicated when the agency makes bad decisions. Freedom. Is that still out there somewhere in the
cosmos?
We're hoping that it expands, just like the theories of cosmic expansion. We will see whether that happens. In the meantime, let's keep working towards it. And thank you so much for your communication. I'll see you in the comments section on YouTube. I'll see you on Facebook. Don't forget to find the whole team at MRCTV.org. That's MRCTV.org. And if you want some great items, head to the MRC store. You'll find this fantastic t-shirt there, In Search of Real News, and many, many more great items. For MRC TV, thank you so much. I'm Gardner Goldsmith.